Hello, church. It's so good to be with you. I hope you had the most amazing Easter imaginable and that your hearts were filled with Jesus and family. It was a glorious day. We are so grateful for the many, many volunteers at the Easter egg hunt and also at Holy Trinity that makes it possible for us to have an incredible Easter weekend. Huge shout out to Jen Helms for her leadership on a full day that Saturday before Easter. And so now we turn the page. We are the day after Easter, and I pray that we are still living inside the realization that the biggest decision we've ever made that with the most impact was to choose Jesus, the one who chose us first. So I hope that's where you find yourself in a post-Easter resurrection frame of mind. So we're going to pick up 1 Peter's 2nd chapter, beginning in verse 1. Peter writes, "Therefore rid yourselves of all malice and all deceit, hypocrisy, envy, and slander of every kind. Like newborn babies, crave pure spiritual milk, so that by it you may grow up in your salvation, now that you have tasted that the Lord is good." There's so much happening in that text. It's such a rich text. We should always be put on notice. You've heard this before. I think it's been shared by Ryan or Eric or others that anytime you see the word therefore, you have to ask the question, what is it there for? This is a kind of a preaching tool when you're looking at passages to ask yourself what it is there for. And so again, like Peter does often, we kind of have these two pictures in one frame. We have a picture of life before and a picture of what our life should be afterwards. So, I mean, he lists some pretty bad things that we should rid ourselves of all malice and deceit, hypocrisy, envy, and slander of every kind, right? So the key word there that he uses is rid. So rid is what we would call in ministry the great purge, right? You need to have a great purge of your heart of all these things, which covers a lot of things. And we could all know that if these things were eliminated, at least in the Christian half of the world would be automatically a better place. Keep in mind, Peter's writing to who? He's writing to the church. These instructions are for the church. Right, so we know right away that to rid yourself would be the great purge. Then he has a word there right after that. He says, like newborn babies, right? You should crave spiritual milk, pure spiritual milk. Right, so what does it mean to crave something? I mean, listen, right now, your head went to some craving that you have, whether that's for me like Cheetos or blenders from Parkway Creamery or whatever. It's your mind goes to something you crave. But what Peter is saying is, listen, you need to be craving things of the spiritual world. You need to be thinking about those. And what is the use of the baby analogy is that a mother and a baby are what? Well, they're just profoundly bonded together. Profoundly bonded together, right? They are mutually necessary for each other. And so this is how Peter wants us to see this relationship as we crave Jesus, as we crave a spiritual life. So one of the things that I think happens is that modern Christianity is a believe and behave system, right? And so right now you already don't have a problem with that. Yeah, you would agree. It's a believe and behave system, but this is a false gospel. This is a gospel that is not true. Biblical Christianity is believe and become. You see the difference? It's not about image management, not about behavior modification. It's about becoming who Christ created you to be, who your identity is in Christ. It's about becoming that person. And so what do? You just have to drink spiritual milk. You grow into your salvation. You live a life that reflects Jesus in all that you do. I think part of what we need to understand is that the gospel is not some sort of replacement therapy. Meaning that you're going to replace bad things with good things. If that worked, all of us could be better overnight, just to put more good things in our life. But that's not what needs to happen. It's actually displacement therapy in the sense that we have to displace our sin. It goes back to the word rid and to purge yourself. You have to literally wedge sin out of your life through the blood and power of Jesus Christ. And then as I preached a couple weeks ago, then you get to burn your grave clothes. You get to set them aside. You get to just do away with them, right? It is really a matter of becoming who God created you to be from the beginning of time, right? So it is not believe and behave. It's believe and become. One of the things I said about Georgianna when I first got there, it was really small church and some really, really nice people. But one of the things I drove home is that Georgianna had to be a place to become and a place to belong, right? That it had to be those two things. That you had to feel safe there. You had to feel like you belonged. And then you also had to realize that God's not interested in leaving you where he found you. He wants you to become something. And that something is an image bearer of Jesus in this world. Right? There's a lot going on in that text. We've got to purge our hearts, and we've got to become. And how do we become? We become by believing. Right? So I hope on this post-Easter Monday that you're doing well. And I hope this teaching is helpful to you as we continue to dive deeper into 1 Peter. We're in the second chapter. It's going so fast. I love you, church. We'll talk to you soon.